So my name is Keeshan, and I wanted to investigate, can we get an accurate indication of our skin color from an image? And if so, can we get a proper recommendation for a makeup skin foundation based on the color of our skin? So a little bit about me. I've been a scientist for about 5+ years. My background is in chemistry and chemical engineering. But all throughout that time, I've been heavily involved in data analysis and making decisions from data. And I always wanted to get a better, deeper understanding of data analysis, and that's what led me to become a data scientist here and go through this DSI at Galvanize. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the project. So as I mentioned, I wanted to be able to identify, based on an image, if we can isolate the pixel value of skin regions within an image, and then use that to determine what the ideal foundation makeup color would be. Right, so if we can take the regions, match it up to get a color value, match it up to a database, can we then return a value for what the ideal color shade that would be to matches ideally your skin color? And so to do that, we first would identify an image. So here I'm using a popular image that everybody knows. Everybody knows Phyllis from The Office, right? We take that image, we'll identify the face, crop out the areas that we don't need around the face, and then we'll apply what's called a face mesh, which will identify landmarks within the face region. So here we identified about 468 landmarks, but of course all those landmarks are not indicative of skin color, right? So we just want to isolate the areas like the forehead, the nose, the cheek areas where it can give us a good indication of what the pixel value is and what the skin color could be. Once we have those areas identified, then we can sort of map out what our sampling area would be. So here we have an area defined by rectangles, and we'll sample the pixels within these areas to determine what the pixel value is and ultimately what the color is. And so to sample that area, there's going to be high spots and low spots, bright spots, dark spots, and so forth. So to get a better smoothing and to help eliminate outliers, the sampling wasn't done just on a pixel by pixel basis. It was actually done off a grid. So I identified a 50 by 50 pixel grid, and within that grid, I took the median value of all the pixels within that 50 by 50 grid, and then moved the grid across the entire rectangle. And so that process was repeated 10,000 times for each of the 4 areas identified, and then all that information was aggregated together to then determine a median value, which is ultimately the average or the median color for this image. So here's the image of Phyllis, and then the color that we determined for her skin color. Now it may look a little bit darker, but that's the image of course is highly edited, plus she's wearing makeup in the image, and so that's why it looks a little bit darker, but in the live demo you'll see it a little bit clearer. So our foundation makeup database was made up of about 36 brands with information that was publicly available, plus some web scraping that was done to fill in all the information that we needed for the shade colors. So all in all, we have about 689 products. And essentially we're looking to match up to see where the skin color that we determined from an image matches up within our entire database. And so to do that, we're actually we have a color value for each of the foundation products, right? And the color is made up of some combination of reds, greens, and blues. So 3 numbers, red, green, and blue. And so we can plot that in a 3-dimensional space. And essentially once we have our sample, so here in the graph, the dark circle at the bottom is Phyllis. And so that's her color that we determined from the image. And we can plot the distance between, or determine the distance between Phyllis and all the data points and pick the shortest distance. So our nearest, the closest matches will be the ones with the smallest Euclidean distance. And so in this case, closest match is Elsa's Pro, followed by Makeup Forever. Those are the 2 brands that matches closely with her complexion. So with that, let's take it live. So here I have a live demo, which is gonna work off of the webcam. So that's me. How you doing? So take a picture of me, and let's see how well it determines my skin color based on, my beard and my glasses and all that, if those things make a difference. So it works. It determines the skin color. So everything we just talked about, the face mesh, identifying the areas, and now my skin color was determined here, and the closest match is the Black Opal makeup brand. So that's essentially how it works. Hopefully you'll see this in a kiosk at Sephora or Macy's coming up soon, where we have better control over lighting, and it will get a much better accurate determination of your skin color. Thanks for your time.